pretty happy that we're here, Joe. So this now is Champs Camp UK. Special memories for you, but actually, I don't want to upset anybody, but one of the real homes of Manchester boxing, would you say? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, you only have to look at the picture behind us, so who's on there, Billy Graham, Humphrey Harrison, all the boys there, do you know what I mean, Maurice Ball, Frank Grant, Carl Thompson, the list is endless, but yeah, no, listen, you look around the walls here today, you see Johnny Nelson here today, it's like a kid in a sweet shop, looking back at old memories and everything else, and as you look on the walls over there, you see the old former champions, 4 British champions at once, Paul Burke, Frank Grant, Carl Thompson, Maurice Ball, and those shorts, and it's great to be back here. And we were back here a couple of months ago, and it's good to get Champs Camp back out there again. It was known as the UK Punk years ago, and they've just rebooted, and we are as well. And it's great that you are here today as well.
So this is rebuilding the house that Bill Martin built. Same gym, same the walls, everything's the same. You were here with the amateurs all those years ago, so it's kind of like full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Listen, this gym was built after the riots in '81, built, and the fighters themselves, Maurice Clore, Enzo Bingham, all built this. If you look around here, Bill passed away in '94. The gym hasn't changed at all. There's still machinery. There's a Stairmaster behind you, a reverse climber over there.
Yeah, the treadmills are 30 years old, aren't they?
They're 30 years old, so we're trying to get some new ones now for the moment. But I boxed here myself. You see pictures on the walls, 86, 87. There was coaching there as an amateur in '91, '92, '93. So to come back 30 years later, what we've done and what we've achieved with the stable of fighters we've got, it's great. And the fighters themselves, Paul Butler loves it, Natasha loves it. Abel Spencer, all of us saying you don't have many old gyms like this no more, and it's great. And like you say, there's a good vibe, and what it does for the community as well to see the gymnasium that they've all followed for years back in action.
Superb. Well, I'm just going to turn your attentions to Candi Wyatt in the ring. It's a huge night for Natasha Jonas, Joe. Chance to become two-weight world champion. Presumably this is your first chance to see Candi Wyatt as well. I think the majority of people will have seen her against Kirsty Babington. That will be the benchmark that we're all judging her against. What are you looking out for? I think you've already said to me off camera, this is a very dangerous assignment. What does Natasha have to do to beat Candi Wyatt?
Natasha's got to turn up with the mindset that she had for 2022. Every fight had fear factor with it, whether she fought for Crews-Dezurn or whether Whittaker. She's got to do that with this. It's alright what she did in 22, but that's gone. This is 2023. Candi, if you watch the fight against Jessica McCaskill, never got dropped, stopped on her feet, wasn't in trouble at all. She's got a new team around her, came over, weathered the storm in the first 2 rounds of Kirsty Babington, and then took control really. She throws a good right hand, a good left hook, bad recipe for southpaws if we throw them too good, and we've got to be switched on. It's a huge opportunity if we can to become a world champion as well. Candi could be the Canadian Natasha Jonas story if we're not careful at a couple of times. So Natasha's got to stay disciplined. She's been in the gym a long time this year now, and she wants to go out there and have a chance to make history and become a two-weight world champion.
One question on the way before I let you go. There was always a feeling that Natasha was perhaps not overachieving, because that seems unfair, but she was to a degree boxing at like 2 weights above what was traditionally her natural weight. Is this a better weight for her, and would this weight suit her any better, do you think, or is it forces that it's different in a number of ways?
Yeah, like I say, in the University of Katie Taylor at Lionstone 9, she performed really well, went up the weight divisions, and she had to do with strength and power, but she acquitted herself very well. She's a good amateur, she's got a good skill set, so she'll carry that up and down the weight divisions. But welterweight, she was underweight yesterday at the board check weight, so she's okay. But Natasha's main thing is just to stay disciplined and switched on. She's at a good hunting ground, she's at the arena where she won the world title, and she's got to stay totally focused and win that title, and then we'll sit down after that and see where we go after that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting conversation. Thank you for joining us, Joe. Thank you for hosting us here. Champs Camp, Mosside. So no problem at all. So Andy Clark is joining me now. Just going to get the word, Andy. I can see Karen Simpson just off camera, who's someone I desperately want to talk to. But very briefly, what do we need to know? Well, when you look at the fight, she's strong, she's tough, she's got really good fundamentals, but she's quite significant, and someone like Natasha Jonas to use boxing skills. I think it's might be differential between the two. In terms of boxing skills, don't slow down the two. That's the way I want it to be. who, so to speak, turn around in that kind of tight circle, keep her turning, keep her moving, and just settling for a long job. Because Jessica McAllister stopped with 7 and 8 because the referee just had seen the night, and she hit her with plenty, but no pressure really like going in the way flow. For Jonas, really, you just settling for a long job, keep those feet moving, don't stay in front of her, and I'll figure out as it goes that skill differential, something straightforward. It was a very, very good fight. But this is interesting. I'm just going to turn around, Damo. This is the first opportunity that we've had to see one of the panels. Yeah, when you look at her, when she sets up, she tries to make that position her with psychology, just carry on quite low. There's no real particular speed there. What she needs you to do, like I say, she needs you to stand in front of her. You need to try and go toe-to-toe with her. She backs her strength and she backs her toughness. At the top end of the sport, she struggled. She lost to Christine in regard to Candi Wyatt, super-middleweight for world titles. Those are two good fighters. I think you were thinking McCaskey at welterweight. So the problem has been when she's got is in terms of her dedication, ability, if you like, her fitness, her durability. It hasn't been there. The skill level hasn't really been there. It needs to be to trail those kinds of fighters, and I don't expect it at all against Jonas. He needs Jonas to have a bad night. That's what she needs. Just to capture with something heavy for her, which can make a big difference to anybody. But you know, when you're looking at her, you see Natasha fight a lot, and you know the kind of skills she's got. She just has to make sure that she doesn't get dragged into it, basically. Interestingly, another Canadian fighter we saw in against Natasha is Whittaker, and the second half of that match was pretty live, and he didn't, because she got a little bit more tired, but she did get dragged into the pitch. She has to burst it down, and that's the first time I've ever seen any, even if they were in the background, but any distress players coming up from Natasha about perhaps carrying that extra weight. Maybe the weight was coming around might actually suit Natasha Jonas. Andy, I'll come back to you, because I don't want to keep Cam Simpson, of all the people I don't want to keep waiting, I don't want to keep Cam Simpson waiting. Great to see you. How are you? We are going to put some clips out later on of you and Pat. I'm going to be honest, that's the first time in a long time that I've seen like show swapping pads. Like, I know Pat's going to be back, but Jimmy, the fist is off camera. He said to me, it's off. That was like whistling on the pads. I think you back your own power, don't you? There's more to a game than just knocking out. You feel that you can box as well. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but is that fair enough?
Definitely, the last 9 fights in the most of them done is 3 rounds, no seen me settle into a fight yet. I've just seen, I'll put the punches together and my, like the tempo and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully, Saturday, the bag, or he might nearly, who knows. Definitely not much of my game, though, yeah.
I mean, we rate Forrest fight, and I think every time Forrest fight's been on TV, Paul's positive for his opponent, he's been in their position to win those fights, he knows what he's doing, he's a quality operator who was boxing probably a weight above because he had to take shots at short notice. How highly do you rate him? What have you got to do to beat him?
I rate it massively. I've had 3 fights. I think the last 3 fights I've done more rounds than I've done probably my full career, or at least my last 10. So like he's going to have 10 rounds on a notice. They're noticing getting Poland, ultimate all the way, and you're going to fit the cat. I've heard good things about him, so I rate him highly, but I rate myself a lot higher. I know I'm proud, I'm trained, I know my ability. Well, I said this recently, if I was good, I think I'm a straight line from the 16, and we'll see what happens like this. Myself right,
yeah, well, I was out in Poland, and I said to him in an interview, do you want to come and rep mention on like anyway? He said, like, you've got it wrong, I want mention on super middleweight, so I actually put his name to him, and he was like, anyone. But at the same time, we're trying to build you into this. People are telling us you might be a very, very good fighter. At the same time, you're a bit more wanted man. How does that sit with you?
It's not see if it's still wants it after Saturday. After Saturday, see if there's once we think I think he'll change man and people like that.
I want to bring Jimmy in. Jimmy, just come and he might not say it, although I think he would. But how good is he? From someone that shares the gym with him, someone that sees him behind closed doors. We've only had that chance against Celso Neves, which was emphatic and explosive.
my man here is going to be very far. Dynamite from Whittaker, and this is Saturday night, you know, it's devastating, and Joe will be around. He's going to the top super-middleweight division, you know, it's
what I wanted to make clear, I know you've got ties with and you've got brothers, you've got you've been out on the business too long.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, up next for the workout today, she is the current reigning WBC, WBO, IBF Women's Superweight Champion of the world, looking to add another world title around her waist. She comes to us from Liverpool, England. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Natasha Jonas.
I know, but I was like, well, meant to me, so I was, something I look up to, so yeah, that's what I'm there. And people say, oh, we haven't seen it around it, we have to watch it live, I feel to watch it live, so we have to change a lot. And, you know, before too long, I want to go, well, I think for everyone, when I was there last time, I said, imagine a pitching into that, got wicked, and so we're down at Bournemouth.
I was just about to say, you've seen what Chris Smith has just done. Do you feel like there's the same similar can be done there in Barnsley?
More, I know for a fact that this year Barnes like 10 times we were down in Bournemouth, 100%. I was looking around and I thought, who it was, but it's a lot different.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to get dragged into we got who was better.
It's Yorkshire boys get behind the
Good stuff. Listen, thank you for joining us. Can't wait for this fight before us fight. That's our show opener. I can see you right now. Come with me, Dame. I'm a door stopping. You see,
quality, mate, quality.
Like me, I'm not here to ignore Savannah Marshall, but we're going to talk to you. Look, it's up. Come to the video. You got to remember, she's in the fight. I know. What she wants, she gets. No, exactly. And I don't want to go stop Savannah ever. But I just want to quickly ask you, sort of Callum Simpson there, he's out there. Yeah. We're all on this fight training. A bit like that. We can get how good can he be? I keep, if I had £1 for every time someone says to me, you've got a really good one there from Callum Simpson,
I hope no one's used this line, right? I hope no one's used this line because when Callum signed up for Boxer a couple of fights ago, I looked at him and he's unheard of. You looked at him and this kid, there's a familiar pattern that I'm watching in these fights, there's a familiar rhythm that he hits that reminded me of a fighter from many years ago. And now I hope no one's used this one yet because he's the opposite. He's an orthodox. He's the guy that I'm talking about from the South, Joe Calzaghe. As in stylistically, he reminded me of a young Joe Calzaghe where he sort of stalks his opponents, he's girding them in, then he throws a combination of punches, he's got great shot selection. I went, wow, and so I said to him, Johnny Joe Calzaghe, I went, there were so many similarities from that, you know what I mean? It's just the way he does certain things. This kid has got talent, and I think if developed right and given the right journey and put on the right time, I think we could see someone quite special. He's got the punching power, you know, he's got this self-belief, he's got the confidence, and I think he can get down and dig and tough it out as well. You know, he's come up on them small hall shows, you know, so he's never had it sort of easy, and he's been dreaming about the opportunity. He's now got that opportunity at the Sky Sports, and yeah, I think he's going to take it on both hands. I like him. There's something special about him. He's got an aura about him. You can't put your finger on what it is, but he's got something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I just speak quite easily. I think Boris Brighton's a real tough fight. I think that Boris Brighton on his day, if he lets up to anyone, we saw him pushing him in after like 10 hours notice. Some people felt that he could have got it against Steve Woodall. But I also understand, let's find out, that means that it's not worth investing in if you can't get past Boris. But Boris Brighton, to me, very good fighter. This will tell us how good the process is.
Absolutely. Listen, Boris's manager, Ian Wilson, who I spoke to earlier on today about Boris, actually, because we saw him box out in Poland. I thought he was very unlucky, actually, against Steve Woodall. Yeah, I thought he put up a great performance. It was one of them touch and go. He could have gone either way. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, but he's taken 3 undefeated fighters' records before. Boris, and he feeds on that, you know, he feeds on being the underdog. Ian Wilson, his manager was saying to me earlier on, Spence, listen, we ain't coming for the paycheck. We're coming to upset the apple cart.
He's had notice as well.
And he's had notice as well. This kid is super confident. It's a tough fight here. It's a sort of coming of age fight for Callum Simpson, really, because this is where we find out, right, he talks the talk, can he walk the walk? Because we will find that out, because if he comes through Boris, you know he's the real deal, because Boris is a tough fighter, and he's a tough fighter to beat.
Good stuff, mate. That was very good. So I'm going to turn you round, Damo. So, Natasha Jonas, hoping to become a 2-weight world champion. She takes on Candi Wyatt this weekend. I'm back with Andy Clark, and I don't think we're going to learn too much from how Tasha's going to be at this weight until Saturday. I mean, and I don't actually think it's anything to worry about or anything like that. Famous last words of a fool. But do you think that this weight might suit her a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so, maybe, because when you look at her 3 fights at super welter, each time she's weighed in at 149, so only 2 pounds above the welterweight limit, and that's what she's chosen to do. So she'd weigh in at 149, probably get in the ring at 149, so she has given that size away. So this time, maybe welterweight is, or super lightweight is what best suits her. So I don't expect it to be any kind of a problem at all. If anything, she'll probably just feel a little bit sharper. Her stamina might be a little bit better.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think that's a pretty good summary of what we can expect. So Tasha just going through a couple of limbering up exercises. Joe Gallagher always expects the worst. So as soon as I walk through the door, he's like, tough fight this. Could all go wrong this. Tough fight this. I say, you say that every single time, but he says that Tasha needs that fear, the fear that it could go wrong. Ever since Vivian Obenhaupt, the name escaped me there. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't forget it. The name didn't come immediately, but yeah, Vivian Obenhaupt, he said, she looked past Vivian and look what happened, and every time she even thinks about saying the opposite, he reminds her of that.
I remember that really, really well because it was in Cardiff at an ice arena in a blazing day in August, I think, back in 2007.
Next Gen
like that. Yeah, that's right. And none of us saw that coming. And at that point, to be honest with you, I thought that's it now. She's probably done. And it's been amazing what's happened since then, because she took that fight against Terry Harper. That came from nowhere for her. Great performance. Could easily have got it on the cards. Push Katie Taylor all the way. But at that point, you kind of wondered, didn't you? You just thought,
is the boat gone?
Is it going to happen or not? Because she was in and around such a strong way. And then, of course, she stepped up a few weight divisions, which females physiologically are more capable than men of doing that, traversing the weights. But also, the strength in depth with female pro boxing isn't where the men's is yet. So that's another reason why it's more doable. She's picked up those 3 world titles. And we kind of hoped that the undisputed fight with Terry Harper would happen, but we know it's not going to. There's history there, and just there's problems that can't be got over, aren't there, basically, and that happens sometimes. But back down at welter, Sandy Ryan's a world champion, or actually she's across the street, but you know, fights between different networks are not impossible.
Is she going to fight Jessica McCaskill?
Yeah, well, exactly. And Lauren Price isn't far away either.
Yes, I know, that's the one that piques my interest. I'm just going to pause for a second. Let's just hear a bit of Natasha Jonas pop on these pads. Okay, well, our challenger, both fighters are challengers, but our challenger on Saturday night, Candi Wyatt, joins us now. Candi, great to see you here in Manchester. How are you settling in, and how confident are you ahead of Saturday?
We're settling in great. Manchester's a great city so far. It's my first time fighting here, but we're happy with everything. I'm feeling great going into Saturday. We had a really good camp. I'm in a great spot physically. I'm in a great spot mentally. I'm ready to go. Fight week's always a lot of hurry up and wait type stuff. So I'm just ready to go. Ready to lace up the gloves on Saturday and get her going.
Yeah, I can sympathise with those feelings. There's a lot of hurry up and wait for us as well.
Yeah.
A chance for you to see Natasha Jonas in the flesh, and a chance for her to watch you hit the pads as well. Other than the fact that she's a southpaw, what can you take from this? Are you someone that studies all of this, or is this all just for the cameras now?
I do think the environment we're in right now, it's a little bit for the cameras type thing, but looking at her, southpaw, we have similar physical builds, so I know she's powerful. So as far as studying, I left that up to my team. They studied her and then designed our camp and our game plan around what they saw. So I just showed up to the gym and did what I was told, and that's what I plan to do on Saturday too.
It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah.
May I ask you, Joe Gallagher, Natasha Jonas' trainer, he just gave us a great line. He said, we need to be wary of Candi Wyatt, because Candi Wyatt could easily be the Canadian Natasha Jonas, in terms of Natasha came very close to winning a world title on a couple of occasions. This is your 4th attempt, and sometimes you feel like it just won't happen. But do you now feel that you've got the experience behind you, that you can finally get your hands on a world title on Saturday?
Oh yes, absolutely. But same deal. We're not taking Natasha Jonas lightly. She's going to be probably my biggest challenge yet. But I'm in a great spot physically. I'm in a great spot mentally going into this 4th world title attempt. I'm excited to bring one home on Saturday on Canada Day.
And would you mind just, not everyone will know your background and your journey into the sport, and apologies, you're here to talk about the main event, but your journey into the sport, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, started when I was 8 years old, just kind of stumbled upon it. I was actually in gymnastics, wanting to learn how to do a backflip, and the boxing gym and the gymnastics club were in the same building, but we could watch each other train.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was just distracted at gymnastics, not learning how to do a backflip, and toddled on over to the boxing gym, and here we are 24 years later.
There you go, that's amazing. What a transition. And what about, I don't know, I mean, we've had Marie-Eve Decare over here before, but the status of the sport from the female side in Canada compared to here, how would you compare the two? You know, we've just come off of the back of a historic women's night, topped by Savannah Marshall, who's just behind you, and Clarissa Shields. We feel like the sport is developing at a fast rate over here. How can you compare that to Canada?
You hit the nail on the head. The sport is developing fast-paced over here. Canada, I really can't say that we're on the same trend. Canada is not really a fight country. As most of the world knows, we really love hockey over there. Yeah. But that's what makes me really excited to fight in the UK. I fought in the UK earlier this year, and it's a fight country, so it's exciting to be here, and you can feel the electricity leading up to a fight. So yeah, Canada's got some work cut out for them to catch up to the UK as far as boxing excitement.
Yeah, but if they need a star and someone to kickstart it, look no further.
Yeah.
Now, just ask you about the previous experience against Kirsty Bavington here. How does that help in terms of, look, it's not the same, but you've been here, you've been on the road, you've experienced the weather, you've experienced probably the poor cuisine, dare I say, but you know what it's like to be here.
Canada and the UK are pretty similar in that sense. Like, it snowed when I was here in March, and I was just like, oh yeah, okay. It's like, as far as stuff like that, culture and atmosphere, food, it's like I never left home. Yeah. So I'm very, very comfortable here.
Now you know why we're all so miserable. Just finally, you are a long way from home. Have you got a message for everyone back home that couldn't be watching this?
Love you, everybody. Thank you for your support. I'm really excited to put on a show for you guys on Saturday. I'm excited to see you when I get home. Bye.
Wish you all the best of luck. Candi Wyatt, thank you very much for joining us. Take care. Thank you. Well, there you go, Andy. She went to a gymnastics gym, was supposed to be learning how to do a backflip. The boxing gym and the gymnastics shared a space, and she couldn't help it. She got distracted, and the rest is history.
No, I love that. I love those kind of origin stories, if you like, foundation stories about why people started doing this in the first place, because they can really, really vary. Just looking at Jonas now, you know, she's been the first person to do so many things in female boxing. I mean, one of the only things she wasn't the first to do is win that British title. We watched Lauren Price do that, and she was working with us that night, and they said it must feel a bit odd not to finally be to finally not be the first person to get something done. But Candi Wyatt,
I just want to cut across you here, Andy. It's Mila, the daughter of Natasha Jonas. What a great shot that is. Mila, Mum, and Joe Gallagher.
She kind of plays quite a big in the story, really, doesn't she? Because she went to the Commonwealth in 2014, Tasha. We thought she would win gold. It didn't happen. After that, she packed it in. She had her daughter, and she thought that was it, basically. But when she made a comeback to decide to turn pro, it was post-pregnancy, and I mean, she described the first training session to me, and it sounded absolutely horrific.
Tasha,
just getting the weight off, getting back in shape. It's
Tasha.
It is not to be underestimated. It really isn't.
Andy, apologies. I'm going to stand up and I'm just going to try and... Lawrence Lustig, sorry to butt in. I'm going to be 2 minutes with Tasha. Can I just borrow you? We're live. Sorry, Lawrence. Lawrence Lustig, always causing trouble. Great shot. Great shot with Mila and Joe there. Thunder and lightning on one shoulder and the other. Presumably she's your inspiration still, Mila, and a chance for you to add another belt for her to play with.
Yeah, of course. Every camp I go through, she goes through. When I'm on a diet, she's on a diet. The poor kid spent 2 half terms and an Easter holidays in this gym coming with me. So, it'll be good to have the rewards on Saturday and be able to bring them home. I don't know where she's going to fit them. She's already got them on her arms and legs. So we're going to have to find somewhere else for her to put them.
Joe Gallagher's already ticked me off talking about the future and what it would be to be a two-weight world champion. He said you cannot take your eye off the ball with this one, that Candi Wyatt's a dangerous opponent. He's been drumming that into you for, 8-10 weeks? You had a chance to watch her on the pads. What sort of fight are you expecting from Candi Wyatt?
I'm expecting that she's come over here before and had success and spoiled the party. I'm expecting her to come and do the same. She's tough, she's durable, she's game. So she'll keep coming, she'll keep throwing punches, and I prepare for the best version of her, and I've put myself in the best version of me to present myself.
At the same time, what do you think would be the difference? You do have those brilliant technical boxing fundamentals which at any level perhaps put you ahead of the pack.
I just think, experience, and plan A to Z. I've been through it all, the ups and the downs, and I've come back and them moments have made me the boxer I am today.
You started and it was one world title, and now we're talking about multiple divisions. It's all pretty exciting, isn't it? Did you think that you would get... Well, I mean, actually, let me rephrase it. If someone would have offered you this when you were probably at your lowest after your defeats, what would you have said?
Yeah, I had a bit of hand off, but, I've worked hard. I've gone the long way around it. And, through everything that I've been through, I was hoping and begging and hoping someone would choose me. I was high risk, low reward, and, some people did, some people didn't. And now that I'm in the position to be able to, choose opponents, to pick opponents myself, I take her.
I don't want to worry you, but I'm just going to turn the camera around. So if you thought that your boxing days were over when your career's up, it doesn't look like it. It looks like the next generation's ready to start.
Yeah. She puts them on and has a go, but she's more interested in Keita than me. She loves our Nikita. She puts a footy kit on and football boots and wants to play footy. So I'm happy with that. It's another sport I like. So.
Oh, exactly. Nikita Paris. I mean, the Jonas family. I mean, we haven't got long enough for you to list all the sporting achievements. Anyway, thank you for talking to us. You've got an angry photographer looking to take you on there. So I really want to talk to Mark Jeffers. Mark, come on in. I'm going to spin you right round. Mark, lovely to meet you. We are live on Scotch Balls. Please don't swear. Late to the party, but by no means too late. I mean, what an opportunity for you to get your name out there, to yourself platform. You've been given enough time. It's been a late sort of journey to this point. Mark Heffron pulling out, but Zach Chelli's in front of you. Can you do it on Saturday?
Yeah, they give me 2 weeks, 2 hours notice. I'd still beat him, so that's no bother to me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Good record. Perhaps if you don't take it as an insult, flying under the radar a bit. You've done your learning away from the cameras. That might be an advantage for you, that you know all about Zach Chelli, but perhaps people don't know too much about you.
Yeah, I've been after an English title fight for about 2-3 years now. On to Kev. Obviously, it's not just about shouting your mouth. You've got to build your way up, I suppose. And like I said, won me 15, make it 16 on Saturday.
Talk to me about your training team as well. You got come from. I can see the 3 of them there. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You choose. But you got the 2. The good. You got the. I'm going to spin you around so you know what I'm talking about. You got Kev Marie, Dave Jennings, and Michael Jennings. You come from good stock. You got a good team behind you there who are very confident.
Yeah, we all know the drill. Like I said, 2 weeks notice, but I've wanted this fight for a long time, so 2 weeks more than enough time. I've got very good trainers. We've got a spot-on game plan, and you'll see how good I am on Saturday night.
Does it make any difference at all that Kevin Marie was with Zach Chelli for large parts of his career, been in the corner, knows exactly what makes Zach Chelli tick, or is that a good line for us and it won't matter on fight night, you're concentrating on what you're doing?
Yeah, it probably makes a good story, doesn't it? But that's not going to play a difference. I know exactly how to beat Jack Chelli. Me and Mick have been through the game plan all week. Yeah, that won't play a difference.
Without saying I'll just be me, could you tell us what the answer is to beating Zach Chelli? Punching his head in is probably your answer, but
that obviously helps. No, I'm not going to tell you. I don't think you need to be a genius, though. I've said this before, how to beat Zach Chelli. You can work it out yourself. You've done enough commentary, you boys. So,
let me just ask before you go, if someone hasn't seen you box before, how would you describe what you're all about?
Just mix it up a bit. Just like to box, and probably slightly harder than people will expect me to it.
Good stuff. Thank you. I've jumped on you. Thank you, and welcome to the platform. Wish you all the best on Saturday. I'm gonna bring Zach Chelli straight in if you don't mind. There's enough distance between the two of you. He just said there, Mark Jeffers, I know exactly how to beat Zach Chelli, but he, there's some interesting narratives with all of this. You've heard it all before, presumably.
I heard it all before. Sim said it. Jermaine Brown said it. They just got to wake up and apologise, as I say. You'll realise on Saturday, you're like, oh no, what's happened? What's happened with my plan? But yeah, we'll see.
When are you going to get some luck? It's sort of another change of opponent, another late notice job. No Mark Heffron, but presumably the game, not the game plan, but the desire and the result in your mind stays the same.
I'm not going to lie, I've kind of got PTSD from it. I'm always worried that you're going to pull out. I'm actually worried that he might pull out as well. You never know. That's why I'm kind of keep quiet. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. I'm like, you do you, man. Believe your plan. On the ring, I'll tell him I'll knock him out, and then it'll be too late by then. But yeah, God's plan, right? And hopefully we can make the one with after defeat this guy, the one with Mark Heffron. Different Mark, same story, right?
Do you know anything about Mark Jeffers? Presumably, whatever the name that was going to be put to you, you were going to say yes at that point. But do you know much about him?
I know he's undefeated. He's fought nobody really, and he thinks he's going to knock me out. That's about all I know.
That's probably music to your ears, though, isn't it? That's what you want to hear and you're expecting to hear.
I'm happy I got a confident guy, because if he wasn't confident, he might pull out. So that's great news, yeah.
Mind if I bring your dad in? He's filming something. He's actually senior, Mr. Chelli. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy I'm here. Yeah, I'm thankful for Mark. He accepted the fight. I respect him for that. Nearly 3 people pull out. It's delay for us for our progress, but we still powerful. We train hard.
And really adapt to anyone.
Anyone, yes. I'm very happy we see the fight Sunday. It's Saturday. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
I have to ask you. Zach has got terrific self-belief. He's told us where he plans to go and where he wants to get.
Yeah.
How good is he, and where is he going? What is his ceiling? Where's his destiny?
Believe me, I want to say something happened a couple of months ago when Zach prepared for the fight for He been in much room in the gym. Sparred to John Ryder 3 times, and 3rd time after 8 rounds he don't want anymore. And inside behind the ring is Mr. Con and Mr. Ben. What's his name? Nigel Ben. Zach. When is Zach ready? Tell him Zach's ready today. Today is ready. Zach, congratulations. It's ready, my son, for anyone. Zach. This is why I say my son is the best super middleweight in Great Britain, because he's been tested for really 3-4 years with all top.
George Groves, James McGill, Chris Bank when he was super middleweight. I've sparred all of them when I was born.
We've been different places, spar with top in the world, and we've beaten all.
So presumably what you're saying is, I just need the opportunity. Need the fights, need the opportunity.
I'm hoping, hopefully, after Mark Heffron, Caleb Plant, I like that fight. I mean, because obviously Canelo has all the belts and it's going to be kind of impossible to get it. So Caleb Plant, that'd be a great step up for me. I believe he's a similar style to Sims. He's American. That'd be great for me to show my potential.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us, both of you. Thank you, Mr. Chelli. Very interesting. Poor John Ryder catching strays on the stream. Johnny Nelson, come on, join us over here. I do love the Chellis, but poor John Ryder, who is an innocent victim in all this, catching strays on the stream there. Set this one up for us, back at the arena. I'm going to move it on towards the main event now. Savannah Marshall, you know her very well. Peter Fury, you know him very well. The ghost of Clarissa Shields, will it play a part? And this is is from someone, how do you process defeat and how do you come back from defeat when it's the biggest fight of your career? Has Savannah Marshall got the mental fortitude just to put that in the past? That was Claressa Shields. There's only one Claressa Shields. Is that the sort of advice you would be giving her?
So let's set the scene. 7,000 tickets have been sold. So it shows there's still an appetite to see Savannah hopefully capture the world title final. Now, when she lost to Claressa, one thing I learned when we did the gloves are off was she was about a bit more humble. I think it hurt her because she's the sort of fighter that says what they can do. There's no bragging and boasting. And I think because she didn't achieve or underachieved against Claressa, and that's probably because Claressa didn't let her, she's frustrated at herself. Now she's saying, I don't want to box at any level less than that, as far as I'm concerned. So now she's in for an undisputed world title fight. That's what she wants. That's what she needs because she believes that's the level. If she loses, she's putting herself under immense pressure because there's nowhere else for her to go apart from to the level she doesn't want to box at.
So what you're saying is there was no need to have a lesser warm-up fight for her motivation and camp mentality. She needed on an equally sizable challenge, and that's undisputed super middleweight belt straight away.
She believes she's a world-class fighter. And I can remember after a fight against Claressa, I went into a dressing room and said, you know what, you boxed within yourself. And that was probably taking the credit away from Claressa. Claressa didn't let her box to a full ability. But I think Savannah got that, Peter got that. They kind of thought, you know what, if she goes in there and boxes smart and strong, then against Crews-Dezurn, I think it's hers for the taking. But she can't get dragged into the emotional side of it, like she kind of did with Claressa. She tried to stand her ground to say, you're not going to bully me, you're not going to boss me. Now with this fight, she knows how rough, how much of a rough and tumble it's going to be with Crews-Dezurn. So she knows, I've got a boxer, box smart, let the referee do his job, the rest should be enough.
You can't take sides, but I just wonder if you really did appreciate how engaging that gloves are off was. I mean, you've done them all, and we've had all sorts, but Franchon Crews-Dezurn, you have to tip your hat to her. She brought something completely different that we hadn't seen before, and it was brilliant to watch. I wonder what it was like to host.
Andy, she sat at that table not like she was a champion, like she was a challenger. She was hungry, she had a chip on her shoulder. She was the one that, as if to say, I'm hard done by, even though she's got all the belts. I loved that appetite, I loved that about her, because she thought, now you're coming to my game. Don't be making plans for a rematch against Claressa. You don't get past me. Yeah. And she really, every time she got the chance to, she stamped her authority to say, you've got to get past me. And I love that chip on the shoulder as a champion, because it still shows hunger and desire.
I rate her as a singer. I know there's been some stuff online like she can't sing. I actually think she can sing. Can she sing?
Well, I want to try and be one of her backing dancers, but apparently I can't sing. So
you can. I don't want to let what happens on the dance floor stays on the dance floor, but he can dance. If you don't think he can sing, he can dance.
Well, I'm out.
Brendan put that in you, but I think you definitely can dance.
Yeah, but she's such a character. She's an all-round businesswoman, fighter. She comes here. This is a real 50-50.
Yeah, so I'm looking on the backdrop. It's not there, but she's self-promoted and self-managed, I think. I don't want to do anyone out of the job. I think Peter Khan is involved with her. But self-promoted, fashion label, entrepreneur. Husband's her coach. Undisputed super middleweight champion as well. I know you said that she sat there with that challenger mentality, but when she walks in the room, she has a superstar vibe.
Stardust about her, hasn't she? Yeah. She takes the attention. And I can remember when we did the first press conference, I thought there's something special about it.
Well, I was hosting it, holding on for dear life to those reins, but I just thought to myself, you're in the presence of a superstar.
Didn't let Savannah get away with anything. She pulled on every little gap. Yeah. She said to say, you are forgetting who I am. You're forgetting you're coming for what I've got. What makes you think there's a plan B? Yeah. I love that about her.
I encourage everybody to have a look at the outwards of that press conference from Franchon, because it was respectful, if not confident, but she finished it with this sentence, this statement. And I just go on YouTube, it's all over social media, you'll find it. I'm going to swing you round, because in that group there you will see the former world champion. That'll hurt her to hear that, but the former world champion Savannah Marshall, who hopes on Saturday she will become the undisputed 168 super middleweight champion of the world.
And I want to introduce one half of that main event here today at the Champs Camp in Manchester. Less than a year after she made history at the O2 Arena, delivered one of the biggest nights in the history of the sport and the biggest night in the history of women's boxing, she is back to do it again, to deliver again for the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hartlepool, England, I want to welcome the two-time Olympian, the former WBO champion, the former undisputed championship contender, ladies and gentlemen, the silent assassin, Savannah Marshall.
So Johnny mentioned it there. Earlier in the promotion, it was fed back to me that, and this is going back probably a month or 6 weeks, that Savannah herself had already sold 700 to 800 tickets, and I couldn't believe it, but at the same time you can believe it, because if you go back to the O2, I'd love to know the data of how many first-time visitors to a boxing match are coming back or have bought tickets, and how many of the new generation, Clarissa, Savannah and the rest of the card, inspired.
And then you just had to look around the arena. There were different faces there.
Yeah.
There were audiences there that were probably not into boxing, but they just loved the fact that it was such high stakes. And I think Savannah has attracted more fans than you'd actually realise. People that are just her fans that all of a sudden are drawn in and sucking into this game of boxing. But and she knows exactly how to play. Keeps her feet on the ground. She's very approachable. She's very mature about what she does, and she's very honest, which is something you like to see in fighters.
You didn't mention Clarissa's name in all of that. I also think there was a dynamic of people wanted to see Clarissa get beat, but she actually left as a bit of a hero as well. That's a very UK thing. We booed her in and cheered her out. That was like she won the respect. But let me ask you, will it make any difference to Savannah that Clarissa will be at ringside, and she'll be at ringside supporting Franchon, or is that good for us, good editorial, but you know, the ring's a ring, she won't hear and see her?
So Clarissa's here to either support a friend or to try and conjure up a rematch.
Yeah, we know where it's going, don't we?
Yeah, you know where this is going. And Savannah, as far as she's concerned, she's got to concentrate on herself to say, this is about me. You know, let me deal with what's happening tonight, then I'll deal with you afterwards. So my advice is stay away from Clarissa until after the fight, and then start. If you've got to sell that fight, make that fight is there to be taken, because Clarissa's happy to come over here to the UK and actually be in the Lions Den as a fan. What kind of reaction will she expect? I don't know. I think the Savannah fans will give her a bit of a hard time, but she loves that. She's one of those fighters. I love that. And the other thing is, I've got to avoid her because I now owe her grand because she put a bet on with me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but if you don't mind me saying, you're not the easiest man to hide. Do you know what I mean? Not exactly a set of car keys. That's a quote from a film. Let me just ask you, before I let you go, I can't see him here, Peter Fury. I'm not sure he is here today. No, neither have I. I was there on that day, and I'm not taking sides and making excuses, but Savannah did an interview on Sky Sports News where she sort of said, you know, we boxed the wrong fight. I'm summarising, and these were not her exact words, but alluded to the fact that maybe Peter's tactics, they didn't work on the night, and people thought that it was portrayed online as Savannah throwing Peter Fury under the bus. They're solid, and they're as tight as they ever have. Peter Fury, of all the people I know, he's got broad shoulders. He can take that sort of criticism. But do you think that will have created a bit of a siege mentality, like Peter will have instilled to Savannah, like it's me and you against the world kind of thing, or is that Peter's more long in the tooth than that?
I think for more Peter, he's going to say, right, you boxed the best fighter in the world, and look at what you did. So that didn't work out. Now with plan B works for us. Savannah is very loyal, and Peter is very loyal. These two are tight.
Yeah, they absolutely work for each other, regardless of what people have said.
Tight like cookies and cream. They work well together and respect each other. So it doesn't matter what everybody makes out the situation. Peter doesn't have to be here today. The hard work's been done. Now the rest of the work has to be done. Fight night. That's what he'll attempt to weigh in, get the weigh-in done, and move on. And this is the kind of things that certain cultures feel they don't have to babysit their fighters all the way through to a fight And Brendan did the same. I went to many press conferences without Brendan there. He said, get this done. Because all the hard work's done. Now it's about you taking responsibility for your arm. That's what we're saying now. Savannah's here. She's taking responsibility for the work she's done. And now it's down to business.
I know I said I was going to let you go, but I've got one more for you. We spoke quite at length about the difference that weight would make to Natasha Jonas, so it's only fair. My untrained eye, Savannah's tall, she's got a good frame on her there that you always felt that she could go up through the weights. 168, will she carry power up through the weight? Will it suit her? Was she taking anything out of herself to make the middleweight limit anyway? Do you look at this as anything other than a positive?
I think the weight is the difference. I think now we're seeing Savannah a weight that she's comfortable at, strong at. She's not have to drain herself down at. And she this is what she'll probably, when she's sparring with Hughie Fury, she's happy to go in at this weight and above. We will see a better version of what Savannah's capable of because of this weight, and we'll realise how much of a difference it makes. And she may even say afterwards, you know what, I could make the weight, but I couldn't perform to the best of my ability before. Now this is me, this is my weight. And if she gets the weight, she'll understand how important that weight made a difference.
Second guessing, I think that she will. We've timed that perfectly. Second guessing, I think if she won, if she was undisputed super middleweight champion, she'd say to Carissa Shields, "Come up, and we'll do it at this one. Just be Gabe." Okay, I'm gonna wait on the side of the ring here, and I'm hoping that Savannah will come over and join us. Savannah, I just want to grab you very quickly because I know you probably want to get gone. Coming into this fight week, how would you compare it to previous fight weeks? And obviously you've been in these big environments before, but how does this compare?
Same old. The only difference is this one's in Manchester, so I'm based in Manchester now. So I'm actually staying at home for fight week. I'm taking advantage. I'm sleeping in my own bed. I'm eating my own cooked food instead of eating out all the time, eating out in microwaves. So that's a difference.
Johnny Nelson just emphasised that he feels that this weight, up at 168, will benefit you, that maybe you're not taking too much out yourself, that you might be leaving it on the gym floor. How do you feel? I mean, you were a big puncher at the weight below. Do you think you'll carry that power up? How do you feel now? You've got those few extra pounds to play with.
Do you know what? I always made middle properly. I always brought it down weeks and weeks before. It was tight, but at this weight, I'm looking at my body in the mirror thinking, how on earth did I ever make middle? I'm literally, over a stone heavier, and I'm looking at my body thinking, whoa, I don't know if I can make middle again. Look, extra carbs, extra food, I'm lifting heavier, I feel like I'm hitting heavier, I feel fitter, so maybe this is a newfound thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it there, hitting heavier. A lot of people are actually talking about boxing skills. That will be the difference in this fight. But from what you've done, presumably with Hughie Fury and others, do you feel like you are hitting harder?
I feel like I am, yeah. I feel like I'm a sparring partner. I'm hitting harder. I feel stronger. I feel a lot stronger at this weight. I'm not getting pushed about as much. So, look, we'll have to see Saturday, won't we?
You're going to be asked this question, so I'll ask it anyway, but how do you rebound from a defeat? You're first as a professional. How do you process that? Are you able just to leave that completely in the past? Is it playing on your mind at all?
Oh, weeks of sitting in a dark room, forever on Just Eat, Deliveroo, eating what I wanted, put on about 3 stone.
Welcome to my world.
Living as a normal person. No, I left that last year. I'm over that. Look, it was bitter. It was a bitter pill to swallow. I'm so confident going into that fight, and losing hurts, especially for me. I hate losing at anything, whether it be who can lift the most weight, who can be the quickest on the row machine, whatever it may be. So yeah, look, I left that in 2022.
Straight into the fire, though. Nobody would have blamed you to have a comeback fight at a lower level to get back to winning ways, but you were confident along with Peter.
there's no point waiting. Let's go undisputed if we can. If it has to be at 168, let's do it there.
100%. I mean, at these higher weights, the pool's very shallow. There's no one there. So what was I meant to do? Drop down to an 8-rounder and box someone that I was supposed to walk through? Even for fans, how can I expect people to come and buy tickets and watch that? I couldn't have done it myself, or like I said, the fans.
Brilliant. Listen, I'm going to let you go, but we applaud that attitude. Best of luck on Saturday. Thanks for talking to us. I'm going to doorstop these two good-looking gentlemen. Sugar Hill and Joe.
I'll chase Andy.
No. Now, people tell me, look, there's a nice dynamic here. He mentioned it at the top of the show. This Champs Camp Moss side was. Yeah, I see them, and I also see these colours. Yeah. So there's a link here. Kronk and Champs Camp. There's a dynamic there. That's right. Is there a rivalry there? And who's better?
I don't think it's a rivalry.
No.
Okay, right. Well, you killed that dream, but
no, there's no rivalry. I think over the years we've seen what Emmanuel Stewart did in the 70s, 80s and 90s, and what Phil Martin did from the riots here, and he was creating champions, and when people were referring to Phil as the UK managed steward or the Champs Camp as the UK Kronk, and that's what it was. As you see on the wall, Champs Camp all used to wear the gold shorts, the Kronk over there, the gold shorts, the Kronk Pro side is rebooted over there, they've got a few winners. Champs Camp back here, sort of like rebooted in a way. It's always been here, but the pros are back in here now, and it's just great. I was giving Sugar a tour of the gymnasium and the history of it and everything, and it'd be great down the line if we could do something like a Kronk versus Champs Camp prospects type of show, both sides of the Atlantic, in memory to both Emmanuel Stewart and also Phil Martin.
People tell me that the Kronk is not just a gym, and it's not just a style of fighting, it's a mentality and a lifestyle. Is that fair enough? And if so, could you expand on that?
Yeah, it's fair enough. Just as the writing on the wall over there about the discipline and stuff like that. So, and the sacrifice that you have to make. So it's quite nearly the same. I was just given a tour in the history, and I love the way this gym smells. It just reminds me of the old Kronk, just a little small gym where you get results done. You don't need a big fancy place, but it's just all about the teachings and learning how to be disciplined and learning how to make sacrifices for things that you want. And from what I'm looking at on the walls, all the history, and he's been telling me about the gold trunks, and that always brings chills to me because that's the colors that I grew up watching, and to see him on the wall over here at the same time and era in which we were wearing them over there. In Detroit and throughout the U.S., I didn't know much about this gym until I just got here now and the history of it. So he started giving me chill bumps just by listening to the historical stories about the champions. Look at those champions, and they're just like the Kronk champions.
Yeah, I probably speak for Joe as well. When we hear you talk about Kronk days, gives us chills as well. What's the situation with the Kronk? I mean, Emmanuel Stewart, may he rest in peace. It seems to the brand, the mentality, the teachings. I'm going to miss people out, but yourself, Andy Lee, Jonathan Banks are all world-class top trainers now. There's others, I'm sure there are. What's the situation with the Kronk? Long live the Kronk, I suppose.
I mean, everybody still, have a heart for the Kronk, and just for what it did for them and what it did for so many people. And it's something that's never going to go away. It's like a family. Similar to this gym, I get that feeling. And, you never forget where you came from. And you're always going to support that place. And that's what Kronk is. You got so many people from Kronk that still have the memories, the same as they have the memories for this gym here with Champs. It all started from a tree trunk, and now you got the branches and then the leaves, and that's what you have. It keeps on going, the legacies, and what we're doing here is it's quite the same as the legacies still continue from the teachings that we received growing up, in which we appreciated, and we have to give back in order for it to keep on growing and flourishing.
Yeah, amen. A great message. May I ask, the Kronk mentality, again, I don't want to get it wrong, but knockouts. Fans love knockouts.
They're going to tell you the same thing.
Well, you beat me to the punch, but would you? I know you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, but is there a Champs Camp mentality at all, or is it? Let's not pigeonhole ourselves.
No chance. Listen, Champs Camp at the time, and I know, no one wanted to fight them, so we had to take away jobs, and we were never leaving it in the judges' hands. So they were always there on the road, win, and you had to win by knockout, and that was it. And you've seen there, Frank Grant knocked Harold Graham out, Paul Burke beat Billy Schuer, Carl Thompson knocked David Hay out. That's Champs Camp mentality for you. Wins, big fights, knockouts, don't leave it in the judges' hands, and that's something that we're trying to replicate and carry on. society and stuff has changed a little bit with that mentality sometimes in fighters today, but something that we still try to nail with the fighters. I was just doing it with a fighter this week who's got a big fight this weekend about knowing how to finish a fight. Some fighters don't know how to finish a fight, but looking for the signs to finish a fight and take him out of there.
Yeah, well, look, you're never going to hear me complain about it. One quick one to yourself about Ben Whittaker. You've had him again over in the States, behind closed doors, working on different things. How is he progressing, and what have you made of what he's done so far in the ring? How much, if you could put like a percentage on it, how much have we seen of Ben Whittaker, of what he's capable of so far, would you say?
You haven't seen much of him yet. He hasn't fought the top caliber fighters that we're grooming him for now. So it's always grooming for something what you're not going to see. You're going to see it down the line if you see it then, but it's always something we're training for that you may not see in the ring, but when that opportunity comes, he'll sure be ready for it. He's improving a lot. I wish he could showcase those things that he knows now, but there will be a time for it, and it kind of makes it somewhat of an advantage because they may think he don't know how to do this or he may not be ready for that, but true in all, he's ready for it.
Brilliant. Thank you both so much for joining us. Really enjoyed that. What a great chat. Look at him. I can see him. Our esteemed promoter, Ben Schlong. Come and join us live on Sky Sports. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very glad to be here. Champs Camp is a special place in Manchester, and we were looking to try and get here for a while.
Have you had the Joe Gallagher tour?
We've had the tour a few times. This was the first gym I actually ever came in. I was about 15, 16, so it's great to be back. And it wasn't Beach for a while. This was a very famous gym. Ensley Bingham was the trainer here when I first came, and he had Sam Hyde and a few other guys at that time, but sort of fell away the past few years. So to get Joe Gallagher back in here now with Natasha Jonas and building the stable again, it's great.
We've just seen Savannah work out. I mean, she looks great at this new weight, but I also saw Franchon walk in with that. She just brings an aura. Where are you on this one? This is a tough assignment. I think that Franchon perhaps not getting the credit she deserves, certainly online as an undisputed champion. But then there's other factions online that think that this is a done deal, that Savannah's bitten off more than she can chew. From the conversations you were having behind closed doors with Mick Hennessy and Peter Fury, was there any ever doubt that this was the right fight for Savannah?
Look, ultimately, Savannah would have liked to go straight back into the rematch against Clarissa Shields. She felt there were things that she did wrong that she wouldn't have done. Once that was clear it wasn't happening next, this was the only fight for her. We looked at other options, but in Savannah's mind, and in Peter Fury's mind in particular, she wanted to step up. She wanted to go and test herself at super middleweight, where she always felt like she'd be more comfortable, like where her power would carry through. She could have a nice fight week rather than just thinking about her weight. And now she steps up into another undisputed fight against the best fighter in the world in the division, who's been a champion for a long time, who's rough, who's ready, who's going to use her weight. Not the most technically gifted, but she knows how to win. And she'll be looking at Savannah Marshall thinking, this is the wrong fight for you. And it really is all or nothing for Savannah Marshall. She wins this fight, she probably gets the Clarissa Shields rematch at the weight that she wants. She loses this fight, it's hard to know where she goes from there.
Quick one before I let you go. Natasha Jonas just over your shoulder. Unless I'm getting tired and getting it twisted, your first world champion under the Boxer banner. What a journey it's been, when I think there are a number of people that had parked Natasha Jonas and never going to get her crown in jewellery. Now, a crown in night, I should say. Now, the chance to become a two-weight world champion. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. It's so crazy looking back, because when we signed her, she was lightweight. She was a lightweight. Her last fight was Katie Taylor, and to go up 3 weight divisions, which we had to do in search of her first world title, to win 3 of that weight, and now we get to come down to where she believes the real big fights are, at welterweight, at super lightweight. That's where she feels the big names. That's where she feels she can secure her legacy. But yeah, to be fighting for a 4th world title, and we were worried that she would never get one. It has been an incredible journey, and she just seems to get better and better, and Saturday night will be another emotional one if she can manage to do it.
Lovely stuff. And you're okay?
I'm very well. I'm
Good stuff.
staying at home all week.
Yeah, look, it sounds like Savannah. She said the same. Let's just have a flick over there. So, do I take a risk here and go and doorstop Peter Khan? Peter, can I talk to you on camera? Come on over. Look, that was a risk, wasn't it, if that had gone wrong? Peter Khan, come and join us. I've been okay. I've not been too bad. Live on Sky Sports. You're here with Franchon. I mean, I'm in danger of repeating myself here, but she brings a bit of star quality. When she walks in the room, there's a presence. She's got a big personality. She's multi-talented. She's got a big team with her, which is always a sign of confidence. Are we all getting this wrong? I mean, people think that Savannah Marshall's got a good chance on Saturday night. Are we coming at it from the wrong angle? Presumably you think that Franchon is the best fighter at 168. She's undisputed and she should get through, Savannah.
Of course I do, but this is a great fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic fight. This is you could say this is a 50-50 matchup. This is going to be who gets to really impose their style. And look, this is what Franchon's all about, taking risks, taking chances, coming here, traveling here to the UK, taking on Savannah Marshall, giving her an opportunity right after she lost to Clarissa, an opportunity to come in here and then, be undisputed. So, Franchon's Franchon. She's one of a kind, very unique, more than prepared, more than ready, but it's going to come down to who could impose their style and who could stick to their game plan.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I mean, you can see her there, Damo. Just turn around, you can see her talking to Ben Shalom there. What is she like? Because she, at the top table at the press conference, she spoke so well. She's a fashion designer. I mean, you just got to look at her. She has got genuine star quality. Okay.
Of course she has star quality.
Thank God you heard me saying something positive there. As I said, she's got an aura, she's got star quality, but what's she actually like? Now she's close to you.
Listen, what
you're allowed to tell the truth, Franchon.
What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Everything you see about Franchon is exactly what you get. This is not an act. This is not an act. This is who she is. She's like a Renaissance woman. That's the best way to describe her.
Yeah, I love
fashionista, undisputed, the longest reigning, and the first and only undisputed N-Ring magazine. And if you don't know, she has debuted at number 30 on Music Week.
She sung for us Tuesday on the news, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time.
No, but her song. I think they're introducing her.
We're going to get in trouble here. We're going to get in trouble here.
She is the national champion. She is the heavy-hitting diva. And most importantly, Saturday night, she is the undisputed super-middleweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Franchon Crews-Dezurn.
I think also, Peter, one of the best nicknames in the business as well, the heavy-hitting diva. You were saying, so she's gone in, I think what was it, that she's at number 30 in the charts, is that right?
She did. She debuted last week at number 30 on the commercial pop club charts for Music Week here in the UK with her single Secret Place. We just learned that it's moved up to number 19, which you'll see on Friday. But you can go, you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere where you download and listen to music or stream music. You can listen to her single, Secret Place.
Secret Place, okay. I'm going to take a tiny little bit of credit for that because we got her to sing it on the news on Tuesday. But, look, if there's a half a chance I can take credit for anything, I'm going to do it. Did you see the Shields Marshall historic night of women's boxing here in the UK? And from someone that's entrenched in boxing all over the world, I just wonder from an outsider's point of view what that night did for female boxing worldwide. It drew record audience, record viewing figures. It went around the world. I wonder if it resonated at all where you were at the time.
100%. I look at it the same way that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano resonated in New York when they fought, which Franchon had fought Elin Cederroos on that same card. That was a magical night. I was there for that, obviously, with Franchon. I tuned in. I watched the show. I believe it was last October.
That's right.
And but it had a great card. So you also had Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer. I mean, you had a great feature and co-feature to really, I wouldn't even say a great night of women's boxing. I'd just say a great night of boxing.
Agreed. We've got to get out of the habit of saying that. Peter, thank you very much for joining us live on Sky Sports. We'll no doubt catch you later in the week. Stay with that Damo on the pad work here. I'm going to go back to Andy Clark because this will be the first time, unless you went down to the gym when she was over here last time, the first time that we get to see the heavy-hitting diva on the pads. I think there is a misconception, and I'm gonna put it out there, and it's just from what I read and what I see, that I think people think that she is crude. I think people think that she perhaps lacks the technical ability of someone like Savannah Marshall. But I wonder if that's a very much a generalisation, that actually she does things differently, but she has subtle variations to what she does, and she perhaps hits harder than her record suggests. I only say that from first-hand experience of I was able to do her fight against Clarissa Shields from ringside,
ferocity and the sort of the violence that she approached that fight with was a bit of a shock to the system, I think, for even Clarissa, even though they had shared the ring many times as amateurs. What do you think will be her strengths in this fight?
I agree with you there. I think that she's got better skills than people seem to think that she has. Sometimes people form an opinion of someone, that opinion gets put around and this consensus almost becomes fact, but you look at what she did as an amateur, she does have good fundamentals, you can see that here. What she does do in her fights, as she did it against Cederus, is look to get on top of you physically and dominate early. And she can get a little bit ragged in that she'll try and muscle punches in a bit. Her trainer Barry Hunter was talking to her about it during the fight. And funnily enough, in the second half, when she maybe got a little bit more tired and looks to box in a bit more of an economical way, she just threw a really simple jab right hand. So I think technically she is better than people have, like I say, decided that she is. In terms of the knockout percentage, I don't think it really means a lot in women's pro boxing with the 2-minute rounds. Only the likes of Savannah Marshall, Caroline Dubois have really got high percentage stoppage rates. But I like her as a fighter. She is aggressive, and yeah, she is strong. She's 5'8" boxing at super middleweight, and there's no spare on her whatsoever. So physically, yes, she's a strong athlete. But people can stereotype in all sorts of different ways across sport, and I feel like that is what has happened to her to a degree. She's not to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination. In terms of pure boxing skills, you probably would give Savannah Marshall the edge. She's long, she's loose, she can keep it on range if she can hit her hard enough with that jab to make her think twice, and that's a big if.
I'm scratching my head. I don't have an example, but do you know any other husband and fighter combinations? I think maybe Cindy Serrano, but I don't want to get that wrong, so if I have got that wrong, I apologise, but it's a unique dynamic.
Christy Martin did it back in the day, I think, did she? I think that might have happened. I think they were possibly a pairing, but
it doesn't happen often. I don't think as husband and wife.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, for that fight against Cederus, it was Barry Hunter in
headbangers, long live headbangers
in the corner, And when I saw her at the press conference, that was the setup there. That she was doing most of her stuff with him, but obviously her and Glenn have been together for a really, really long time.
Yeah, I think since the amateurs.
Yeah, for a really long time. So, I mean, that's a relationship that has got stronger and stronger as the years have gone by, obviously. But Barry Hunter, he's a very experienced guy. We remember him most from Mont Peterson.
Yeah, both Peterson brothers.
Yeah, and just what a great kind of bond he had with them, and I think it is always really important.
I know he's a great coach in his own right, but and not to do down his accomplishments at all, but from my dealings with him, one of the great motivators in terms of backstage, on the night, in the corner, just absolutely brilliant. Big round of applause there. So I wonder if that is that. Are we gonna? That looks like it, doesn't it? So, Andy, thank you. I'm going to assume my position on the ring apron. I'm going to see before we cut off this stream if I can get an interview. Franchon, are you doing any more, or are you finished? Well, I'm just going to do a very quick interview with you. I don't know many others. I think you're a lot of firsts. I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit pads with a brilliant pair of sunglasses like that.
Because my star is so bright, I'm trying to protect my eyes.
I wish I'd bought mine. We asked you earlier in the week how you're feeling now you're here and acclimatised now. Obviously you came here as an amateur, you know the UK pretty well, but how have you settled in?
I feel great. It's great to come out a little early to acclimate. The closer we get to the fight, the performer will come out of me. Even in here, it's great to have people around. I feel the energy. Negative or positive, it's energy, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, has it been explained to you, the amateurs are coming in now, so it's not just the fighters on the card, the amateur gym are coming in, and the chance they get to see an undisputed champion hit the pads, it's pretty special movement for everybody, this.
Yeah, so they're coming in? Are they here yet?
Yeah.
Did they see enough, or we got to give them some more?
No, I think that was okay. We don't want to keep. Was
that okay for you guys? Was that okay for you? That was okay for you? Okay.
Did you get a chance to see Savannah work out, or are you not interested?
No, I could go back to it, but Got here kind of late, but it's okay. I'll see Saturday night.
Yeah, that Manchester traffic, we can't be held accountable for that. What are you expecting on Saturday in terms of the whole environment? You're the champion, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you approach this with a challenger mentality? Johnny Nelson said the gloves are off. You sat down and you spoke very much like you had a mindset of a challenger, even though you're undisputed.
Oh, of course. I'm a top dog with an underdog mentality. You know, nothing is given. Everything I have is Dezurned. You like that, don't you?
I do. You had me at hello, but I did like it. I did.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in a hostile environment. Not necessarily the people, but I know what's at stake. I know that I have a person who's hungry to be a champion, but I'm hungrier. And this is my destiny. This is what I work for, and this is what I'm going to keep.
Thank you for talking to us. I think you're due to do a face-off now, so let's hope that this all passes off without any incident. But wherever you have been joining us today, wherever you have consumed this stream, make sure you come back tomorrow because we will be live from the press conference. But this is the face-off between champion and challenger. Franchon Crews-Dezurn and Savannah Marshall. The undisputed super middleweight championship live from Manchester. It's billed as all or nothing. And it is all or nothing for both fighters. One will leave as the undisputed champion and one will be facing professional defeat and choices to make. That is on Saturday night, 1st of July, live from the AO Arena in Manchester.